Welcome to Inside NLCS Singapore, where we have conversations with the people that shape our community. And my guest today is Ed Jeffries, our head of music. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you.
Ed, I wanted to talk to you because you've had a huge impact on the school since you arrived. The standard of music and the engagement that our students have with music has really gone from strength to strength, and I wanted to just unpick that and explore it a little bit with you.
Okay.
But let's start with your own story. Where did this love of music, this passion for music, where did it all start?
Well, when I was younger, my parents gave me the option of being able to play piano when I was about 7 years old. Totally fascinated by it, and had the chance to be able to have a family piano, which my mum had played on and her mother had played on and her grandmother had played on, and somebody always in the family had played a musical instrument. So I then had the chance to be able to play piano. When I went to secondary school, I was then given the chance to be able to do my do cello, which is now my principal study. And it was just an amazing opportunity for me to be able to kind of make music with others. I had the most amazing music teacher at school, a woman called Anne Graben, who I'm still friends with now, and because she was massive inspiration, massive, and really shaped what I thought about music. She was my school teacher. She was also my piano teacher later on, and she really did show me what it was to make good music. And after that, I went to university, studied music at university, and then I went on to study cello at a postgraduate level at Trinity College. And then I had lessons with a variety of teachers through London, people like David Strange, David Smith, David Kennedy, a lot of Davids, as cello teachers. And then that opportunity to kind of explore what it was that I really loved about cello playing. And then I played for a number of years as a professional and taught cello and piano as well on top of that. And basically just loved doing it. I always have loved doing it. Played piano, played cello, started singing when I was always sung as a child as well. But I think the amazing thing about it was trying to find new and fresh ways to be able to get involved in music. And so a colleague of mine, who's an opera singer, got me to start having singing lessons when I was about 38. And it was she thought it'd be a jolly good jape to do something in one of her kids' concerts. And I was like, no, categorically no. And then she talked me into it, and somehow I just then found myself continuing to have very expensive singing lessons with her for a number of years afterwards. And then I continued that when I was working in Peru with an opera singer there. And it was just another avenue of exploring what you can do as a musician. And so I guess as a musician, I'm very much into just exploring who I am as a musician and exploring what other people can offer as a musician, working with other like-minded people and just enjoying what I do. Mm-hmm. So
I think that there's almost an implication in the question here that it's searching for that moment where a penny dropped and the passion was turned on and the fire was lit. But you're almost suggesting that actually music has always been there.
Yes, it's.
You can't remember a time without it.
I can't remember a time when I didn't love making music. As a kid, I just remember making music. My nan would come over on a Saturday. I kind of dreaded that, not because I didn't love my nan, but because there was a piece of music, I remember it very vividly, called In a Persian Market, which was far too difficult for me, and she made me play it every Saturday with her, and incredibly hard. But she sat there for hours with me on a Saturday afternoon playing through that music, and just playing and exploring music with members of my family, and just having fun doing it. At school, I loved to sing. I loved to play recorder. When I discovered the cello, it was the idea of playing with other people, joining the county youth orchestra, going on string days, playing things like a day I remember where I got to play the Tchaikovsky Serenade for strings when I was about 15, and it was mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. I just thought I love this. The sound, it just kind of hits you in your very core, and it was just amazing to be part of those opening chords, and just to have the chance to do that on a daily basis as either a professional. I still get to play occasionally professionally when the time allows, I did some playing in China over Christmas with the London City Philharmonic, and recently here with the Singapore Opera Company. And it just when you're in it together with everyone else, it's just the most amazing feeling. And I think it's just an incredible gift to be able to make music with others and enjoy and impart something of yourself to others when you get to play or teach the subject. I think it's an incredible thing.
You've had a really varied experience as a performer, haven't you?
Yes.
I mean, just give us a sense of the different things that you've done.
Well, I'm pretty old, so there's a number of things. I used to play in quartets when I was younger. I love chamber music playing, so a lot of pro wedding gigs, cruises, which were really quite fun, and a nice way to be able to kind of see the world. Lord, this makes me sound terrible. But I remember as a student used to clear my debt every summer by going busking with friends of mine. So you'd see the usual buskers in Bath, and I think when we turned up, they dreaded seeing us because there's just a bunch of people from top music colleges in the country suddenly arrive and start playing, sort of massive concerto works with friends on the streets, but it did clear the debt every summer.
Right.
On top of that, pop sessions, which were really good fun when I was younger, playing in pop bands as well. Definitely something I'm pleased I did, and gave you a different side of, gave you a look into the industry. Not something I wanted to go into, but it was fun to be able to do. Orchestral playing, really, really good fun. I enjoyed that. Terrifying as it is, I always like to sit second desk inside. You're part of the action, but not having to make any major decisions. It's always quite fun. On top of that, I have always enjoyed teaching and imparting knowledge to younger players. It's been an eclectic career of playing in lots of different things and actually keeping the options really open and varied so that there's not a day goes by when you do the same thing. And you do repeat the same music, but every time you repeat the music, there's something different about it, which is quite incredible. And it's nice to be able to remind the children every time you come back to this piece of music, it will mean something different to you. Or you'll hear this piece of music and you'll remember this rehearsal, or you remember a time, or it'll bring up just thoughts and feelings, and that you'll be able to express in your own playing as well. It's just, I think making music is quite a special thing to be able to do. And I would have to say, since leaving college, there hasn't been a day where it's felt like really going to work. I'm not saying I'm not tired some days, but when you have a job you love to do, it's not really a job. It's just, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a calling. That would sound very sappy. But when you've got a job you love to do, it's not really a chore. And it's an incredible thing to be able to make music to a high standard with like-minded people and just have fun with it.
Sure. We've got a phenomenal music department here, haven't we? And
Yes.
you've reflected with me a number of times how unique it is, how special it is, that every member of the department has been a professional performer
Yes.
in their own right.
Absolutely.
Just reflect on that and give me a little bit more sort of explanation as to why that is unique, why that's important.
I've worked in schools before where you have educators, and they're absolutely top-notch educators. They're absolutely brilliant, and they can impart knowledge really, really well. But what's unique about this school is that we have a bunch of musicians who have come together and have all been playing in their own right as professional musicians their entire lives, and they still love to make music. We have free periods, and if we have time, we'll play together. We'll play in trios. We'll accompany one another. We're happy to play in the McLaughlin Library recitals. We are happy to impart our knowledge and our expertise and put our money where our mouth is and have some fun with it. Show the kids what you should be doing, how it should be done. And I think what's really amazing about the department is it is a bunch of like-minded musicians who are also teachers. It's not teachers who are musicians. It's definitely the music first and foremost. They play to a very, very high standard. I've never worked in a department like it. To have such top-notch players.
And how does that impact the student experience?
They get to see how it's done. It's not a case of us saying, "Oh, we'd like you to do it like this," and then talking. I've been to rehearsals before where, and that's not to say that you have to be the best player in the world to be able to do it, but I've been to rehearsals before. You can spend a lot of time talking about how you want something done. But if you just simply play it to a child or sing it to a kid, and you do it authentically, and you do it well, they are inspired. And so when they see their teachers play to an incredibly high standard, they're inspired, and they want to be able to replicate that. You could spend an hour discussing a phrase, or you could simply play it to them and say, this is what I'd like. And we will then turn around to them and say, if you could come up with a better way of playing it, fair enough, fair play, you can do that, but you have to convince us. And then they'll go out and they'll try and convince us. And that's the exciting thing. We've had students come back and say, oh, actually, I think you should go like this. And then myself and Ms. Tam will say, okay, show us. And if they can show us, we'll talk about it. Absolutely. But they are, I think, working with musicians, first and foremost, is the most amazing thing to be able to do, because they can play, they can show, they are inspiring. And I think our motto within the department is we aspire to inspire. And it's really important that the kids get a chance to be able to kind of listen to first-rate musicians who have been in the business, can tell you what it's like to go for an audition, can tell you what it's like to get into music college, can tell you what the competition is like, large fish in a very small pond. And they need to understand their place. And you can actually help them do that by recommending the next step, telling them what they should do, talking to them about techniques. Or if you don't know the answer, we had the means to be able to find somebody who can talk to them about it, and giving them the tools in order to be able to succeed in their music making. That's the thing. We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
I think as a result of your background and a result of the department's background, there are very, very high expectations, very high standards.
yes.
But even within that, have there been moments here where you've listened to our students play and you've sort of thought, wow, that's astounded me, that's amazing?
Recently, I think there's been a couple of times. I think we had conversations when I first arrived, and I was like, it can improve. It can definitely improve. And in the last year, I'd say recent performances would be the recent assembly, the music assembly we did, and we had a young man from grade 8 playing Sarasate, and he blew the roof off. He played impeccably well. His message with his music making was clear. He was very professional in his demeanour, and it was a joy to listen to and a joy to watch. And there wasn't one person in that hall that sometimes you kind of sit there going, ooh, are they going to be okay? They just were with him. They were willing him on, but they were enjoying the performance. Nobody felt, oh, this could go at all wrong. He knew it. He nailed it. He was absolutely brilliant. We had string ensemble. I felt slightly sorry for them in the same performance. They came on, they played impeccably well. They did Holberg Suite, which is difficult for a younger bunch of players. The youngest person in that group is 8 years old. They're playing repertoire played by adults. And they made a great noise. They played incredibly well. That was a very proud moment to be able to hear the blending of the sounds. And I think it's always fun to have things like the percussion ensemble that then got to play. And they were doing a piece called Beware the Jabberwock. And again, it was just lovely to see, after a couple of years of being here for me, the school's been going longer, but to see the kids on stage just knocking it out, just having an absolutely rip-roaring time on stage and just enjoying their performance. Not thinking about, wow, okay, this is nerve-wracking or anything else. Just thinking, it's fine, I'm on stage. This is what I'm here to do. I've rehearsed it. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to have some fun. And I think that whole thing then came across. And so there are moments on a daily basis I hear kids play or they do something and I think, wow, especially some of the pianists, and I think, wow, I wish I could play like that. Right. Especially some of our younger ones. They are quite incredible. But to see or conduct them on stage and to be in it together, and you just have the best time. It's such a laugh, and very funny to just like enjoy the music making and not be worried about what they're going to do. that's the nice thing. I don't worry about what they're going to do. They know their stuff. They rehearse on a regular basis. We know them. They know us. If something goes awry, they know how to put it right. It's absolutely fine. I feel very confident with them now. They feel very confident with the music staff here. It's fun. And that's the thing. Music making should be fun. It should never be walking on stage and going, oh my God, what on earth is going to happen? They have got to the point here where they are enjoying their playing. They're enjoying their music making. They ask the right kind of questions, and they, be down with it. If they make a mistake, they make a mistake. They don't care. They just are there to have a good time and show other people what they can do. And I think that's what comes across in their music making.
Yeah. Okay. Ed, we're going to end. We've stolen a concept from a famous podcast. We're asking everyone that we're having a conversation with to leave a question for the next guest.
Okay.
And the person that has left a question for you is Miss Holden.
Okay.
And she wants to know, what is the value of reading fiction today?
The value of reading fiction today? Good Lord.
She's put you on the spot here.
She has put me on the spot. I mostly read books about music. Nerd that I am. I think it's important to read fiction today in order to be able to open one's mind. Opens one's mind about a world that you're not familiar with. It's just opening a book, I think, can take you to another place, can take you to another time. And I think that feeds your imagination. So I think the value of reading fiction is definitely that you can explore your own imagination. Mm-hmm. So, and put yourself in situations where the protagonist, you have nothing in common with them, but you get to understand or experience, in your mind what it might be like to be a spy, to be, to explore, to play with your own imagination. I think fiction is important. I don't do drama. So I think on stage we pretend to be other people the entire time. It is a persona. But for a book, I think it's nice to be able to imagine and use your imagination. Fiction is incredibly important to widen your imagination, to widen what you think about, to explore a world that you're unfamiliar with. So,
okay, good answer. I think Miss Holden will like that.
Okay.
Ed, thank you for everything that you do for our school, and thank you for the conversation.
You're quite welcome. Cheers.